What's up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be counting down the top 10 movies that I'm looking forward to most in 2022. Now, this list has gone through quite a few changes. I already had this video recorded, and then Aquaman 2 and The Flash got pushed back, and there was some movie trailers that came out, and I'm like, I'm putting that on the list. And so this list has been a long time in the making. With that, let's go to number 10. And in 10th place is Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise. It's the sequel to the movie Top Gun. I have not seen that. Maybe I'll watch the first Top Gun before going to see this in theaters on Memorial Day weekend. But I thought the trailer looked pretty good. It's Tom Cruise. I like him as an actor. And I've heard a lot of good things about the first film. And so I'm just interested. This movie made me interested to see the first Top Gun film, which I think automatically earns it a spot because I not only got interested in seeing this film, but also the original. So it's been a long time waiting. This movie was going to come out like 2 years ago. Like it was supposed to be released 2 years ago. And then COVID happened and it got delayed. But now it's finally going to be coming out. And I'm not as excited as I was, but I'm still excited for this movie. In 9th place is Lightyear, the new latest Pixar movie that's going to be coming out in June. I don't have high hopes for this film, but I like the Toy Story movies a lot. Pixar rarely disappoints me, although it's happening more frequently with movies like The Good Dinosaur and Turning Red. But for the most part, it's very spaced out. Although, to add to that, although I don't think that they're bad films, movies like Finding Dory and The Incredibles 2 kind of felt a little lackluster and bland. Like, Pixar has been slacking off. And then you have the Cars series, and Cars 3 came out just about, that was already 5 years ago, but Pixar's track record has not been amazing. Soul was good. I really liked Luca, although it's not an amazing film. They've been giving us good films, but nothing incredible. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll see it. It's Pixar. I'm excited. It's Lightyear. But it's not something that I got super excited for, especially with the trailers. They just seemed okay. In 8th place, this is where the movies on this list kind of really interested me. I actually got excited for these films. And in 8th place is The Lost City, starring Sandra Bullock. And this movie, I watched the trailers a few times. I first saw a trailer on YouTube, and then I watched them in the movie theater alongside of the movies that I went to see, like the Batman. And I laugh every time I watch this trailer. It's funny. It's clever. It just looks interesting and fun. And I just can't wait for The Lost City to come out. I am looking forward to it. And I usually don't get super excited for comedy films, but this one really sold me. In 7th place, the 7th place spot is where I had Aquaman 2, or Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, but that movie got delayed till March of 2023, and Shazam Fury of the Gods came and took its spot, and it stayed the same on my list. Shazam Fury of the Gods is my 7th most anticipated film of 2022. I think that they should move the release date to the weekend after Avatar 2 gets released. I think that it will do better at the box office if they do that. I still think it can do really well. We've seen with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Aquaman, we had the 1 year Star Wars The Last Jedi, Jumanji, and The Greatest Showman all did amazing numbers. So I think that they can coexist. I just feel like Shazam Fury of the Gods would have a better shot at being number 1 for December. I know that sounds crazy, topping Avatar, but I really don't think that film, unless the trailers are really good, I don't think it's going to have nearly as large of a turnout as it did before. But I really like the first Shazam film. I also think that film's release date did it dirty. It did not perform as well as it should have at the box office because it was wedged right between Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame, which I didn't think was fair, but it still did well. And it was an amazing movie. So I think that over the past couple of years, especially with COVID, on like streaming and video and all of that digital media stuff, HBO Max. I think a lot of people have probably checked out Shazam, and it's a great movie. So I think that the turnout for the sequel is probably going to be pretty good. And as far as like pictures we've gotten, the suits, the Shazam suits look much better than they did in the first film. And what they're doing with the story just sounds like they're going so much broader and bigger, but yet it's probably going to stay still a little bit grounded in terms of the emotion and the Shazam family. So I'm really looking forward to what they do with this. They set it up very nicely at the end of the first Shazam film, and it looks, at least the little bit of behind the scenes we've gotten so far, it looks pretty good. In 6th place is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is going to be released in May, the very beginning of May. I think it's May 6th. This movie looks really good. After Spider-Man No Way Home opened up the Marvel multiverse, Doctor Strange is going to have to face some of the repercussions, and it looks crazy. I feel like they're trying to save a lot of the really big stuff for the actual movie, so they haven't really shown us too much in the trailers, although they have shown us quite a bit of good stuff. But I think they're saving like all the cameos and everything like that for the actual movie, which is a smart idea. They did that with Avengers Endgame. Infinity War, they give us a little bit more actual footage of what to expect, but both films really surprised us, and so did Spider-Man No Way Home, although we were kind of expecting like the Spider-Man to come in. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is open game. They could bring in any Marvel character they want to. It's going to be crazy. I think that this movie is going to be huge. It's not the most intriguing film for me. Like, I didn't find it to be the most interesting when I watched the trailers. But it's definitely high on the list. It's definitely not quite my most anticipated, but one of my most anticipated Marvel films. I just didn't really think the first Doctor Strange was anything incredible. And I had some minor flaws with the trailers. And they never did anything to make me say, this is going to be the best Marvel film or the biggest Marvel film. But it definitely looks crazy big. Number 5 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. And I'm really excited for this film. The first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that film is really, really good. I love that film. It was so creative and just uniquely made. This teaser trailer for Across the Spider-Verse came out of nowhere, but I watched it and I was like, dang, this is cool. This is kind of what I wanted to see in No Way Home, although I'm very satisfied with how that movie turned out. But like this Across the Spider-Verse is Spider-Man traveling through the multiverse. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And now we're getting it in this Spider-Verse franchise, and I'm really excited for it. I was blown away by the teaser trailer. I can't wait to see where they go with this. And then that part one of 2 just really got me excited, because it pretty much means that they're trying to tell a stretched out narrative. They're not just doing this periodically, one by one. If this movie does well, we'll make another one. It's like, no, they started off with the first one, which was really good. They obviously had a plan because they were setting up for sequels. And they're like, we'll see if this makes money, because if it doesn't make money, obviously Sony wouldn't have given the green light for the sequel. But since the first one did fairly decent, they're like, okay, you get 2 sequels, make this series, and they're going to tell a full fleshed out, stretched out series. They're probably going to be a cliffhanger at the end of this one, and I like cliffhangers when they're done right. As long as we get the sequel, I'm really excited for this. I love Spider-Man. Animation is very, very entertaining, and I just love the work and the talent and the gorgeous visuals that come with most animated films. And there's just so many other aspects that just make this extremely exciting. In 4th place is Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This movie did get pushed back by Warner Brothers from the end of July to the end of October, but it's still being released in 2022, and I'm still excited. I think that they should have left it at the release date it was, but I still think it's going to work with its October release date. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm super excited for this. I don't like the fact that I'm going to have to wait another 2 months, but no, 3 months actually, dang. But I'm still excited for this film, and in most cases, I don't get excited for Dwayne Johnson films. He tends to act like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, in every single movie he's in. Even with Jungle Cruise, he was performing way too much like himself rather than the character he's supposed to be in the movie. He does okay most of the time, but it kind of lessens like takes me out of the movie most of the time. But he actually looks like he's taking a different approach to Black Adam, and I think he's gonna be like, he's tried serious roles before, but even then, like with the Fast and Furious franchise, he becomes way too much of a comedic character. I think he's gonna have jokes in this movie, but I think he's gonna play a much more grounded, dark character, and he's not even the main reason that I'm excited for this film. I saw Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and the other characters that are in this movie through that little teaser. This movie looks visually just excellent. Like those costumes, just the look, like the style and the lighting looks very, very well done. I'm very happy that DC makes movies that at least look like they're going for something artistic. Marvel kind of just looks bland most of the time, not all of the time, but DC really goes in with their visual style, and I appreciate that. And just seeing all these new characters on the big screen for the first time is just going to be incredible. I hope the movie's good, and I'm definitely excited for it. In third place is The Batman. Although this movie already came out, I had this list in development before I watched The Batman, and now I've seen it twice. The movie was not as good as I was hoping it would be. It was still very good, but my anticipation for this film was sky high. I was so excited for this film. At one point, before the Jurassic World Dominion trailer came out, spoilers, this was my #1 movie on the list, but then it got bumped down, and I was super excited for this movie. But now it came out, it was good, but dang, my hype train for this film was over the top. In second place, if you couldn't tell, it was Jurassic World Dominion. After that trailer came out, I was super excited for this film. And at the time of the trailer coming out, it was my most anticipated film. And then another trailer came out, and you'll find out what that is. But back to Jurassic World, these movies haven't been anything super special. Like, I didn't expect this movie to be like one of the best movies of the year. It could wind up being terrible. It's relying a lot on nostalgia, bringing back the original Jurassic Park cast. Pretty much, although Jurassic Park and Jurassic World have brought out some pretty good movies, none of them have been anything great except for the original. But I'm still super excited for this film. It's just what I wanted to see, like humans and dinosaurs like coexisting on the earth, like seeing dinosaurs in like city areas and like people having to survive. Like, I was so excited even for this movie. Like at the end of Fallen Kingdom, when they set it up, I was like, yeah, I'm super excited for that film. And then a lot of time passed, and then that trailer came out, and I'm like, I'm all in on this. Seeing Chris Pratt, what's his name, Owen, in the Jurassic World movies, riding like a cowboy, roping dinosaurs. It's like, yeah, I'm in. I don't even care if this movie is awful. I'm just excited to see it. It's the kind of thing I want to see, even if I know it's probably not going to be anything spectacular. It might not even be anything super special, but I'm still excited. I want to give an honorable mention to Black Panther Wakanda Forever, even Thor Love and Thunder. I'm not super excited for that film, but it's a Marvel film, and Thor Ragnarok was really good. So I'm interested to see what Taika Waititi does with the fourth film, although what I've heard, I'm not really too impressed with it. Other honorable mentions would be Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think it looks decent. Like they're going much bigger and they're expanding the world and the characters very well. They didn't try rushing things with the first film, and this sequel looks about right in terms of expanding the universe, and it looks kind of fun. And then Avatar 2, just because I like the first Avatar, and this is going to be a major event film. Avatar 2, I'm excited for, although we still don't have any trailers for it. But maybe soon? I don't know. But with that, let's get to number 1. In first place is, of course, the Bob's Burgers movie. I mean, why wouldn't you be super excited to see this 2D animated spin, like full-length movie of this adult animated show? It just looks like a Bob's Burger movie. Like, what more could you want? You get to see the burgers, and you get to see these strangely drawn and animated characters, and I'm sure it's just going to be an amazing film. Looking forward to this one. Just kidding. That is the number 1 of my least anticipated films. I got confused. I thought this was a different list. Bob's Burgers, the movie, looks like crap. But in the actual first place spot of my most anticipated films of the year is Elvis. And I'm pretty shocked because I've never been an extremely huge fan of Elvis. I've heard a decent amount of his music. I never really listened to it all the time. I couldn't really sing you any of his songs. But the trailer for this movie was phenomenal. The trailer itself made me cry the first time I watched it. And every time since that I've watched it again, I got chills. The story of Elvis, I honestly knew better than his music. How he came from this gospel background and then signed the contract and became this famous rock star and all that. And I found that to be a very interesting story, and then the trailer hooked me to the point where I'm like, yeah, that is definitely something that I wanted to see in a movie. Something I never really thought about, but when I saw it, I'm like, yes, this is perfect. I really, really think that this is going to be a good movie based on what the trailer gave us. The trailer gave us a fleshed out story without, in my opinion, I don't know what's in the movie. Obviously, it's going to be much longer than 3 minutes, but they didn't spoil too much, but yet they told a story and got you hooked to the point where you want to see the full thing. Elvis is my number 1 pick. I am super excited to see this movie when it comes out in June. This is going to be a great year for movies. I can feel it. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.